All right, mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to part 3 of lesson 2 of 103.5, which is where we learn all about the creating, monitoring, and killing processes, which gets really complicated because one of the processes you can create is a program called Screen, and the Screen program allows you to do all kinds of really complicated, kind of mind blowing, jaw dropping things just right there on the command line without having to use anything else but the default bash command line you get with Linux. So last video we went all through that, and I definitely urge anyone who hasn't seen those last two videos or read this, this is the part you want to bookmark if you're in the real world, hands-on the job, because this will really help you accomplish a lot of things. So bookmark this here, take a look at my last two videos. And now we're going to move on to the next section, which is where we learn kind of a more advanced, more modern version of Screen called tmux. All right, so tmux can be invoked by simply typing tmux at the command prompt. You will be shown a shell prompt and a status bar at the bottom of the window. All right, let's try that. So I'll get into my lab. Okay, yeah, I need to have my phone ready to receive calls. All right, so let's go back down to tmux. There we go. So now we're just going to type in tmux, and now we get a prompt at the bottom. We lose all our coloration, which is kind of annoying. If we type exit, I assume we're exited out of tmux, I assume. But if we type screen, I really like screen because like you get this this like manual popping up, and then you get all of your coloration. It's a little bit annoying that you don't see anything at the bottom of the screen that you're in screen, but it's not that hard. You just control A W, and we can see actually we did not go into screen. Yeah, so you can see we did something like pretty weird. So yeah, we sometimes screen as we're seeing can be kind of tricky. So what you do is a 3505, so you detach it, and then now you can resume the screen session. All right, there we go. So we're back in the screen session. And then we've got the attached one, so let's kill the screen. Oh, wait, what? I'm so confused. Wait, why was I in let me create a new socket. Hit end. Let me do Control S W. No. Control A W. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening. I feel like part of what's happening here is because I messed up that configuration file. So before I move on, I'm gonna set that configuration file back to what it was, which I can do really easily. So screen list. Okay, and now let's set the configuration file back. So must be connected to a terminal. Oh, right. Okay, so to do that we do copy dot screen dot defaults to dot screen RC. We'll lose our scroll back buffer setting, but that's fine for now. So now let's go back into screen. And hopefully things work a bit more normal now. Yep, okay. So you got to be careful when you change that file to make sure that your settings don't mess things up. And as I said, and I will say it again, I will say this, I will scream this from mountaintops: do not modify original files. Always do not modify original files until you have created a backup that you can use to revert changes. In addition to that, do not modify system-wide files. Copy them to your user account and modify them there. I will scream those from a mountaintop every chance I get, because it is very, very important to know that. All right, so now we're going to type in tmux, tmux. So, yep, we've got a similar thing. We've got the bash, then we've got username of this, we've got the host name of the device we're on, the time, and the date. So other than the host name, the time, and the date, the status bar provides the following information. So the session name kind of looks like the output from jobs. It looks like it starts at 0, so this is session 0. The window number, so same thing, starts with 0, so this is probably window number 0. So remember, for screen, we have 3 very distinct concepts that we needed to learn: sockets, windows, and regions. Looks like windows might be a concept here in tmux as well. Hopefully it's not too dissimilar from for screen. All right, and then we see the window name, which is bash, and we have an asterisk at the end. By default, this is the name of the program running inside the window, and unlike screen, tmux will automatically update it to reflect the current running program. Note the asterisk indicating that this is the current visible window. So this doesn't mean, this isn't part of the name. The name is bash. The asterisk tells you that this is the window you are on. If we do something like sleep 60 or sleep 50 is fine. So in my case, I don't see it. Oh, you know what? That's because sleep 50 is still something run in bash. How can we give it a bash? What if we do vi test? No? Okay. Oh, yeah, here we go. So now we see this automatically updated in vi, since now we are in fact in vi and we are no longer in bash, whatever that means. If I do sleep 50, okay, you just have to hit enter another time. Now the command that's running is sleep. All right, so you can assign session and window names when invoking tmux. So let's exit out of this one and assign a session and window name. Okay, so now we can see the session is no longer 0. It's LPI, which is what we ascend using the dash lowercase s. And then the window name is now window 0, which we assigned using the option dash lowercase n. The status bar will change accordingly. There we go. tmux's command prefix is Control B, which is probably a little better than Control A. To create a new window, just type Control plus B and then C. You will be taken to a new prompt, and the status bar will reflect the new window. Okay, so Control B now instead of Control A and C. And now we've got a new window. We can see the new window is listed down here. The new window is the active window, so that's the one that gets the asterisk. The window we were on before is the prior window, so now it gets a minus sign. And the new window has a numerical identifier of 1. And then the thing we're doing in the new window is bash. If we were to run a command like sleep for 40 and then hit enter one more time, now it's updated to say sleep. But one thing we notice is that we still have the name LPI, so maybe this is the name for something equivalent to like a socket in screen. Perhaps tmux has that same similar concept. Okay, so yep, so we're taken to a new prompt, and the status bar is reflecting the new window right here. As bash is the underlying shell, the new window is given that name by default. Start top and see how the name changes to top. There we go, top. Now, you have to hit enter one more time for it to name, which is kind of strange. In any case, you can rename a window with Control B, comma. When prompted, supply the new window name and hit enter. All right, so let's try that. Let's get out of top. You know what? Let's stay in top and do that just to demonstrate that when you do a Control B, as we did just now, you are changing the modes, basically like in Vi, to be command mode for tmux. So now we can enter the command that we want. So what we want to do is we're under rename window. There's it default fills that in for what it would be renamed if we didn't do this command, and we're going to change the name to window 1. And remember, this is a window, so I believe it's similar to a screen window. All right, so you have all windows displayed for selection with Control plus B minus W. Use the arrow keys to move up and down and enter to select. So if we wanted to have that same functionality as we did in screen, where we can just use the arrow keys, we can do that here. And one thing that's pretty cool is like it looks like we can so we have our session and we can see we've got 2 windows in our session. So like it's like a tree view. It's like a more useful view, and we can see like how it looks like it'll save your panes. And then not only that, we can see a preview of like what's happening in each window. So I like this a lot better. This is already making tmux kind of better for me. All right, so there we go. You could have all windows displayed for selection with Control B plus W, which we see here, and then use the arrow keys to move up and down and enter select. So let's select window 0 instead of the one we're on now, which is window 1. There we go. And we can see now the asterisk changed. We are on window 0. So in a similar fashion to screen, we can jump from one window to another with Control BN. Let's try that. All right, so now the asterisk changed and we're seeing different output. We are in a different window. Control plus B P for previous, same thing, new output, new asterisk. And then Control B, and then the window number, which starts at 0. So let's go to the second window, Control B. And now to get to the second window, I will type 1, and we're back. To get rid of a window, use Control plus B and then the very intuitive ampersand sign. So to use a sign that means and, it means to remove something. So you will be asked for confirmation. Kill window, window 1. Let's do it. So we're going to do Control B, the very intuitive ampersand symbol. And there we go. Kill window, window 1. Yes. Other interesting window commands include Control plus B and then F, which is finding a window by name. Control plus B and then a period, which is to change the window index number. To read the whole list of commands, consult the manual page. All right, let's do that. So let's do man on tmux. And there we go. Now we've got all the commands we can do. One thing I want to point out is it looks like the documentation has like pretty good syntax. This plus here means that you have to do them both at one time. So you can do them one after another, but while you're doing this one, you have to hold this one down, and that's indicated with the plus. But then this minus means once you're done initiating this input by holding down Control and then hitting B, then you let go of these characters and you hit F. All right, so panes. The window splitting facility of screens is also present in tmux. The resulting divisions are not called regions, but panes, though. That sounds like a pain. The most important difference between regions and panes is that the latter are complete pseudo-terminals linked to a window. This means that killing a pane will also kill its pseudo-terminal and any associated programs running within. To split a window horizontally, we use the very intuitive Control plus B and then double quote. Why can't they just use all the same things screen used? Like I get, like even Control plus B. Why not use Control plus A? I don't get it. I guess I could ask the AI, but I'm not that interested. So let's split the window horizontally. We gotta create a new tmux session first. So we're gonna type in tmux, and now we'll type in control, hold down control and hit B. That's indicated with the plus sign. Let go of both, which is indicated with the minus sign, and then shift single quote to get double quotes. And there we go. We split a window horizontally. And this gets confusing because we're splitting a region. If this were screen, we would be splitting a region into two regions, but they're using the word window, which I wish they wouldn't use because that's very confusing. All right, so to split it vertically, we're going to use even more intuitive of a character, Control B, and then the percent sign, because that's just easy to remember, I guess. All right, so to destroy the current pane along with its pseudo terminal running it, along with any associated programs, which sounds kind of bad. We'll do, can I click between the two? No, I can't. We'll do Control BX. You will be asked for confirmation on the status bar. Kill pane 2 in my case, yes. And it looks like the panes start from 1, not 0 as before, because, oh, sorry, no, 2. So it looks like the panes start with 0 as well. All right, so here's some important pane commands. You can do Control B, and then you can move between all the panes. That's kind of cool. Let's try that. So we're gonna do Control B. We're gonna create a oh wait, I literally cannot remember how to split because it's like so counterintuitive. Oh, it's the quotes. Okay, and that's horizontal. Let's split it vertical. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then we'll split this one horizontal. Okay, there we go. So now we can do Control B and use the arrow keys to, oh, I guess you can only hit, oh, every time you do it, you have to hit Control B first, which is kind of annoying. Which is like really annoying. Okay, well, but it works. Maybe you can hold Control B down and then, no, you can't. Oh, that's really annoying. That is really annoying. Okay. All right. So, yep. This is how you move between panes. You only get to do one of these after you hit Control B. So if you want to move, if you got like a bunch of split ones and you want to go from the bottom to the top, for every motion between panes, you need to hit Control B and then the up arrow until you're all the way to the top. You can't just hit Control B and then span arrow keys. It will only register it once. All right, and then the next one that is important to know is Control plus B, and then the semicolon, and that's to move to the last active pane, which is probably this one here. So let's try that. Semicolon, you don't have to use a shift. Yep, so this is the one I was at previously. Let's try it again. All right, now I'm back to the pane I was at before. Okay, so we can resize the pane by one line. To do that, what we do is Control B, then Alt arrow There we go. That resized it by one line, which seemed to be quite a resize. We can also do Control B, Alt, and oh, you know what? I accidentally misread this, and I did the Alt, so I resized it by 5 lines. Let's move to this pane and resize that pane by 1 line downward. Okay, so that would be Control B and then Control down. There we go. Okay, so Control B and then open curly brace will be to swap panes. So we'll swap these and we'll see the sizes change. Oh. Oh, no, so swapping panes means it's the same thing as moving between panes, I think. Let me try this. Okay, and then we'll move between a pane the way I know how. Okay, and then we'll type no, you don't. And now let's try swapping panes. So it'll swap current to previous. See, so it did actually swap the panes. Now that we see the difference there. Okay, so let's put them back. So now we can swap the panes from current to next. And there we go. It's back how it was before. We can use Control BZ to zoom in and out of the panel. Let's do that. Okay, so now we're zoomed into that one pane, and we're not seeing the other panes. If we hit Control Z again, it should zoom back out. Oops, so Control B, Z. There we go, now we're back. That's kind of a cool feature. You can, Control B is so much worse than Control A. So you can go into any pane, like let's say this one, and you can do Control B, Z, and now you can work only in this pane if you want. And then when you're done doing your work, Control BZ, and you go back and you see everything else. Like for like system administration, for like network engineering, this stuff is like really powerful. Like learn this stuff, please. This is a network engineering channel, so like get used to this. Like this is why I'm doing this certification, because I just need to learn, like, you know, what have people been doing since the 80s, and like does that make sense to do anymore? Because it's like nowadays it's just like, oh, use the something. It's like I just feel like there's too many new things nowadays, and like a lot of these new things are just worse versions of the old things. So like I want to use the best possible thing that has like persisted over decades and decades and decades and is not going anywhere in decades and decades and decades. All right, so that's the zoom feature. Then we've got Control plus B and then T. So Tmux will display a fancy clock inside the pane, and then we can kill it by pressing Q. So let's turn this one up here into a clock. So we'll do Control B up arrow, and then we'll do Control B T. So that's now just showing us the time. And then we'll do a Control B. We'll go down to this final one down here, and we'll do some work in here. So we'll do work. And then we'll go, now let's hit Q. Okay, Q only goes there. So let's go back up to that pane and then disable the clock. So Control B, try down arrow. There we go, down arrow took me back to this pane. We can tell that by the highlighted green underneath it. Hit Q, and we're back. Okay, and then we can turn a pane into a window, which is kind of interesting. So I'll say I am a window, and we'll do Control B, and then we'll do the exclamation point. So now this is its own window. We can see that here. I want my panes back though. Oh no. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, well I lost all my other panes. That's a pain. Okay. Let me try to remember how to split again. I do not remember how to split. I don't. It's so intuitive. It's like it's too easy to remember. I just keep forgetting it. Um. Okay. That's what I was doing. Okay. There we go. I was doing it, but I was doing it wrong. All right. So let's turn this pane into a window. I am also a window. And let's see if that makes it so that this one goes away, this one remains, and then we have another window showing up here. Yes, that is what happened. So what happened to, did we just blow away our other panes and the contents in there? That's not good. I don't want that. Anyway, to read the whole list, consult the manual page. I think we did that with Tmux before, so we'll move on to the next section, which is sessions. To list all, so this is just like, these are like the sockets, also called sessions in Screen. It's basically the same thing. It's just the next evolution of that thing. And it's so much better. Okay, so to list sessions in Tmux, you can use Control B and then S. There we go. So now we've got our sessions. Okay. Alternatively, you can use the tmux ls command. So let's try it like that. So let's hit enter. Let's do tmux ls. And there's our, so it looks just like Screen. We've got one attached session that we're in right here. And then we've got 3 windows in that session. Let's do exit out of this. And then there we go. We'll do a tmux ls again. Now we've got 2 windows. Exit. Hey, look at this. So we're back. We're back to what we were before. Well, that's cool. Okay. So let's create a window again. Okay, so we created this one as a window. So now if we so we can see we have an extra window. So if we were to exit out of it, now we can see we closed that window and then we went back. But since we closed the window, it's no longer there, but our screen splitting remained. Okay, so I think we got a good sense of this. It's just like Screen. There's only one session, LPI, which includes 2 windows. Let us create a new session from within our current session. This can be achieved by using Control plus B and then type :new at the prompt, then press enter. You will be sent to the new session as can be observed on the status bar. All right, so let's do Control B and then over here. And then let's do Control B :new. There we go. And now we're in a new session. We're not in a new window. We're in a new session. If we were to do tmux ls, now we've got 2 sessions, each with 1 window. And this is the one that we're in right now. Session 1. And we can see a confirmation of that down here. All right, so you will be sent to the new session as can be observed on the status bar. Yep, we looked at that. By default, tmux named the session 2. In my case, it named it 1. To rename it, use Control plus B and then the $sign. When prompted, supply the new name and hit enter. Let's do that. So Control B instead of A, and then the $sign. And we'll delete the current one and say second session. Okay, so you can switch sessions with Control B-S. Use the arrow keys and enter. So this is how we would to switch a session. So Control B-S, and now we use the arrow key. Wow, this is cool. Okay, my mind is now blown. My mind's now a puddle on the floor. So remember in Screen when we did Control A double quote, and then we could use a something like this? Well, one thing we didn't have the power to do in Screen was to do a similar thing, Control A double quote, But instead of selecting windows, we could select sessions that had whatever windows they happen to have. You can do it in Mux. If you do Control BS, now you're selecting sessions, and each of these sessions have their own windows. So that's a feature where Tmux is probably worth getting used to over screen. That can be really useful. All right, so to kill a session, which is not a window and which is not a screen region, you can use the command tmux kill -session -t session name. If you type the command from within the current attached session, you will be taken out of tmux and back to your initial terminal session. All right, so let's do that for second session, and we'll do that from the current attached session. So we got to select that here. So let's select the second session here, the one named second session, and then let's do tmux kill -session -t second session. All right, and now we're exited out of tmux altogether. We can do a tmux ls. And we can see we still do have a session. It doesn't say that it's detached. It has this. Hopefully we'll learn about that soon. All right, so I think we'll learn about that here in the sessions detachment section. So by killing second session, we were thrown outside tmux. However, we still have an active session. Ask tmux for a listing of sessions, and you will surely find it is there. Mic check 1 2. Looking good. All right, so tmux ls looks good to me. We've got one session with only one window. They've got one with 2 windows. However, this session is detached from its terminal. We can attach it with tmux attach -t session name. Attach can be replaced by at or simply a. When there is only a single session, the name specification is optional. All right, so let's do the full thing. So we're going to do tmux attach -t, and now the session name. I'm not sure where this comes from. I'm pretty sure this is the session name. Let's try it. So 4171x33. And I got to spell tmux correctly. That's the hardest part. Okay, so that's not the session name. Let's try it with the 0. All right, so that is the session name. It's matches right here. We learned that earlier. So you are now back in your session. To detach from it, press Control B and then D. All right, so we're detached. We'll do a tmux ls again. Yep, so we are now detached from it. So tip, the same session can be attached to more than one terminal. If you want to attach a session, making sure it is first detached from any other terminals, use the -d switch. So tmux attach -d -t, these are lowercase, and then the session name. That's what you can do if you want to attach a session, making sure it is first detached from any other terminals. All right, so important commands for session attaching / detaching. Control plus B and then a capital D, so you can select what client to detach. Let's try that. So to try that, we need to be in a session. Let's create a new one. So I'm going to do tmux -help to remember how to do that. Oh man, this is kind of annoying. So let me do tmux just on its own. Okay, so now we can see we do have another session. If I were to do tmux ls, yes, we have this second session. So I did successfully create another session. Let's create another window within this section. So to do that, we'll do tmux -help. And then so I think it's like a Control BW. Is that how you do it? This is just to select the window. How do I create one? So here's the command key bindings. So I think we can create a window by entering a key binding. Yeah, so if we use C, then we'll create a new window. So Control B, C. All right, so now we can see down here we created a new window. Let's create one more. Control B, C, and we've got 3 windows open now. So we can select what client to detach with Control B, D. Let's try that. Capital D. All right, so it looks like we've only got one client to choose from. Let's select that. Now let's do a tmux ls. And now we're detached from both of our sessions. First session only has one window, but the second session we were just in has 3 windows, but we are detached from each. So the next command you could do is Control B and then R, and that would refresh the client's terminal. Let's try that with our first session. So we're going to do tmux and then attach -t and then the session name, which is 0. And we're back here. So now let's refresh the terminal through Control B and then R. All right, so presumably the terminal is refreshed. I don't see anything happening as a result of that. I guess I'm not sure what it means to refresh a terminal. Yeah, so I guess I presume that we refreshed the terminal, but I'm not sure. So to read the whole list of commands, consult the manual page, which we did. So now let's move on to copy and paste scrollback mode, which is another mind-blowing jaw to the floor thing we saw on screen. Looks like tmux has a version of that as well. So tmux also features copy mode in basically the same fashion as screen. Remember to use tmux's command prefix, not screen, so that means to use Control B instead of Control A. The only difference command-wise is that you use Control plus space to mark the beginning of the selection and Alt plus W to copy the selected text. All right, so let's try highlighting this up here. So we're going to do Control B, and then in screen, you do it this way. So yep, that's the same you do in screen. You do the open square bracket, and then to highlight part, now you do, instead of in screen you would just hit space, but here it looks like we have to do Control space to mark the beginning. And then to mark the end, you would do Alt W. Okay. How do you actually paste it then? All right. Okay, that's less. I find tmux to be a lot less intuitive than screen in a lot of ways. I really liked screen. All right, so next section is customization of tmux. The configuration files for tmux are typically located at /etc/tmux.conf. But remember, this is the system-wide config. I will shout this from a mountaintop. If it doesn't exist, create a user configuration file. So, and then before you do anything else, create a .defaults or a .backup version of it. And then when you modify this, you can undo your changes very easily. So when started, tmux sources these files if they exist. There is also the possibility of starting tmux with the -f switch to supply an alternate configuration file. You can find a tmux configuration file example located at /user/share/doc /tmux/example_tmux.conf. The level of customization that you can achieve is really high. Some of the things you can do include you can change the prefix key. So change the prefix key from C to A. I would like it to be S, because then it's like, well, you could also do T for standing for tmux, but So here's how you change that. I'm not going to try it. It was kind of a pain for screens, so I just want to get through this. So you set -G to the prefix. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure what this means because I thought the prefix would be -B. I'm not sure where they're getting -G from. But the next line, unbind C-B, and then bind C-A. Okay, so this is like changing -B to -A. I'm not sure where this comes from. Maybe this is the line you see before where you want to put your changes. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, and then set extra key bindings for Windows higher than 9. So some extra key bindings to select higher numbered windows. Okay, so if you had more than 9 windows and you needed to give it 2 digits, it looks like you're going to have to set that in the configuration file. So for a comprehensive list of all bindings, type Control+B ? And then once you're in that mode, the help mode, you can press Q to quit the help mode or consult the manual page. So next are the guided exercises. I'm definitely going to do these and the explorational tasks in their own window. I think this will probably take a bit to get through. So that's it on this video dedicated to the reading on TMUX. And make sure to stay tuned for the next few videos. I think those are going to be particularly good ones to see because I'll be putting into practice what I learned, and it might be interesting to see these things like stretched to the max and the full exploration of what these tools have to offer. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.